Hi, this is Nessa on Infinitely Zero's channel. Today is Saturday, February 10th, 2024, and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that I've been working on, some of my past projects, and also some of the little small yarn haul of things that I bought at Herrschners recently that just came in last week with the sale that they have going on. And there was also a free shipping coupon, so I couldn't resist. I know I have a lot of yarn, but it was really good deals. I also put in a Mary Maxim order, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. That should arrive on Monday. And I thought it would be cute to show some stuff which I made last year and the year before. That was sort of Valentine related themed kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be cute to share. So this is a heart I made, a little heart washcloth with scrubby yarn, and this is like scrubby yarn that comes with regular cotton yarn. It came in a mystery bag. So this pattern is by Moogly. So I thought that was pretty cute, and the yarn came like this with the red, white, and blue. I will say I had made a few other ones of these, and when they used them, the red bled into the white, so I suggest if you guys ever use this yarn, maybe soak it ahead of time in some salt water, so that it won't bleed and the colors won't run into the white. And then I wanted to share, I only made one of these squares. I was making a second one. I did it while I was on vacation about 2 years ago in the summer. It's just really, really cool. It's a granny square, but it's heart shaped. And I used the Red Heart Super Saver, like they're black, and yeah, that looks way better back here. And they're Red Heart Super Saver stripes, so it has some color transitions. So as the colors change for this, it'll go into different yellows and reds too, and blues. So that'll be pretty cool. And this is actually using the crochet waterfall stitch. So my plan is to possibly make more of these and join them together in a blanket. Not sure if they're all going to be hearts or if I'm going to use some of the other stitches. That pattern is from this book. Thanks, Dad. This was one of the things that I had asked him to gift me as one of the presents a few years ago. So these are the squares that are in this pattern book. You can get it on Amazon, which is really nice. So it's a different technique. There was Stitch Along, which I participated in a crochet along a few years back to do a big blanket that used the waterfall stitch. So the crochet crowd, Mikey, has tutorials on how to do it. I found that using the Clover Tunisian double pointed hook made out of bamboo that's 10 inches, that's the shorter one, works real well to do these stitches because you have to loop around the yarn multiple times. Let me show you. I had this in one of my project bags, so it got folded, which kind of sucks. So here's an example of how to do that. Sorry. Where you have to do multiple wraps. That's a more complicated one. There's shorter ones. But there's a lot of good, explanations in the book. Like this is how to do the seams. And again, you can refer to his video to see how to do it. But yeah, sometimes it's like 3 or 4 different steps. So it's not really like mosaic crochet. It's kind of its own thing. But it does have where it'll have the gaps, and you kind of have to put the stitches within those gaps. So anyways, I thought you guys might think that was neat. And this is the sorry, trying not to show other stuff. This is the blanket that they show where it's joined with all their different squares. Personally, I think it's really busy like that. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's really busy. I think maybe a blanket where all the squares are kind of the same motif would be really cool, and would be like less busy. Or maybe if they had all these different motifs but similar colors in the squares too, you know, like all like black and beige, in the different patterns. I don't know. It would be quite interesting, but yeah, I haven't dug around to Ravelry to see if folks have made other layouts with these squares and what they've come up with. And I haven't heard a lot of people talk about Waterfall Crochet either. So if you guys have used it and tried it and liked it, let me know and put a comment in the comments below. Personally, it took some getting used to try to have the tension correct when you're doing all those wraps on the hook. That's what I struggled a bit more with. So the big blanket I did, I'll try to see if I can insert a picture in this video or not. I can't remember if I have a picture of that. I gifted it to my aunt, and I was started making a second one, but it's kind of on one of those hold work in progress projects. So yeah, so this is the sweater I talked about in the last video that I'm testing the pattern for, the bulky long cardigan. And so I can't really show it to you, but I did manage to fix the sleeves and attach them. I do like how it looks better as a vest, but the yarn is pretty pricey and it's not on sale. So I was considering maybe getting more of it to make a vest, but I'm not even really a vest person. So we'll see, right? But it's really nice and comfy, and I love how it fits. And this is my, every day I'm finding new ways to love yarn. So I had bought this in support of Warm Up America, my crochet t-shirt. So I'm excited about that. I got my Happy Mail, my first one from Tiffany Hanson's Crochet from the Crochet Trivia that I won. So yes, that was yarn with a little notebook. And now to show you, let me show you the work in progress. So I'm about to start working on another sweater pattern that I'm testing. This one's Tunisian crochet, but it's a boucle furry yarn. So I did manage to get the gauge for that, and I did a bunch of swatches. I was thinking maybe of making a whole video concerning my thoughts about gauge, and showing some samples that I've done, and I just haven't filmed it yet and wasn't sure how much interest there would be in it, but yeah. And so yeah, I made them, and then like a month happened, right? And I didn't take notes. I did put it in our Facebook because we have like a separate private Facebook group for testers. So I had taken pictures of the gauge swatches there and put the hooks, and I remember that finally was able to match gauge with the 7mm hook, even though the designer used the 5mm hook. But I definitely had to go up in hook sizes. I guess my Tunisian crocheting is a lot tighter than hers was with that yarn, and the yarn wasn't exactly the same than what her crochet is, because usually I have to go down a bunch of hook sizes when I'm doing her regular crochet patterns, except not for this cardigan. And yeah, so now I'm like, oh crap, what hook did I use? Because I can't remember what hook I used, and I'm like, oh no. Because I used like 4 or 5 different hooks when I was trying to make these gauge swatches. So I think I know which one it is, because I think I left it out, because I have like this pile on a TV tray table that's right next to my recliner, where I have a lot of like different odds and ends about my projects and my notebook and things like that, and some hooks. So I think I left the hook there, and I think I know which hook it is, but I'm not completely sure. So I may have to go back through that Facebook group and look into my comments and see if when I took pictures of the gauge swatch that I took a picture of the hook that I used, so that I can try to match the right Tunisian hook. So as soon as I figure that out, and pick which yarn I'm going to use, because I use like 5 different types of yarns, like different colorway. It was 2 different types, but like in 4 or 5 different colors. Like one type had 2 colors and the other type had 4 colors. And I don't want to make it too dark because I want to be able to see the stitches, and it's already furry yarn. And the one that was really nice and furry, it's like a disaster to frog with, because I was like trying to unravel stuff to see if I can salvage some of the yarn that I used for the gauge swatch, and it just became a knotted mess. I just wasn't unraveling it right. Yeah, so I think if I'm going to try to test a pattern with that and I make mistakes, it's going to be a nightmare. So I want to use the one that isn't as hard to unravel with. And then when I know the pattern better, maybe make it with the more challenging yarn. But the designer did put out a blog post concerning tips and tricks with furry boucle type yarn, of how to work better with it and how to frog it if you need to. And apparently there's like, if you pull it at a certain angle and, hold the other part of your fabric and certain things that you can do, it actually makes it easier to frog, or a little bit less challenging, or it won't be all knotted. So we'll see. I haven't tried that yet. Okay. So I've also been working on the blanket crochet along that Juan the Yarn Addict is hosting. We're on week 5. Next week is the last week. I didn't do the squares. I did do the blanket. I mentioned it in the other video. I figured you guys were totally curious and wanted to see how my progress has been. So these are the first times using these yarns. It's the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre yarn and the Red Heart Super Saver Speckled yarn in the light blue. Not too thrilled with how the speckled look inserted within between the 2 ombre yarns, but now that I've gotten further and I added the Beautiful Red Heart colorway with the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre yarn, it kind of looks okay. Like, it's working itself out. So I'm on the last set of week 5, which is our shell row, and it's gotten quite big. And the thing is, I also crochet loosely, so I may be a little bigger than everybody else right now too. I also wanted to mention I've been using my new Omni hook, which was this one, the colorful one, the 6mm. I still like my Prim hook a lot more, and my Susan Bates hooks a lot more, and my Clover thicker, sized hooks, as well as the Susan Bate with the ergonomic plastic hook, the twist and lock. I like that more because this one was actually giving hand fatigue, and my thumbs have been hurting using it. So that's a thing. Like, it wasn't making my whole hand cramp, but it has been making my thumb hurt. So I don't know if it's the way I've been holding it or something. So this is what this is looking like. That's the shell stitch I'm working on, and the other stitch for this week 5 was the double crochet, which is there, and then the granny stitches. So I transitioned the color within that, and then the middle part. So that's kind of how this is looking now. I can't fit it all in the camera, and I'm showing you the back side. I'm sorry. This is the right side, not the wrong side. Here we go. That should look a lot better. First part of this textured stitch here, we did it on the other side facing, and then it sort of pops out better on the right side. There we go. So yeah, maybe I'll try to put a picture of this as my thumbnail. Ooh, that'll be exciting. Well, or maybe the Herrschners kits. I haven't decided, or maybe both. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So yeah. So that's how that's coming out. And I was like, man, I don't feel like I've been doing a lot. But yeah, between that other sweater that I just finished, the gray one, and this blue one that I've been working on, and that. And I was like, oh, but I'm only doing like 2 projects right now. And then realized, oh, wow, if I can actually cover myself in this blanket, then I have done a lot, right? And I'm already on the 4th skein of yarn. Anyway, so now on to show you the Herrschners purchase. So I decided to get a little more of the Sherpa yarn. I show it in the other videos, so I'm not going to unbag this. Okay, fine. Maybe I will. So it's nice and soft. It's similar to Lion Brand's Go For Fleece, which I show in that other video. There's just a lot. That's how it is. There's just a lot less yardage. In these skeins. And I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and she was asking me about the yardage and asking me maybe if Ice Yarns has a comparable yarn to this. And I was looking, I think maybe they're polar or they're like puffy something, might be, but the puffy one looked like it was thinner. And only their duo kind of polar something looked like it might work. I know there wasn't a search thing for Sherpa, but if anybody knows of one that Ice Yarn has that might be comparable to this Sherpa yarn. It's also similar to Burnett Sheepy, but when I'd gone to Joanne's and tried that out before they stopped carrying it, this is a few years ago, because I had a hard time trying to get more of that other yarn. It wasn't as soft as the Lion Brand one, like when I was actually like touching it and trying to figure out if I can finish my project with it. And anyways, as I was comparing the yarn, trying to tell her how much I used for the project because I didn't make notes, and I was looking at the pattern design, I realized the notes that I put, like for the Macon Drew Crew pattern for the pullover hoodie made with the Sherpa yarn of the Go For Fleece, the designer's yardage is wrong. So she mentioned, and when you go to buy the kit in Lion Brand, it only says that you need like 7 skeins for like a small medium. 6 skeins of yarn for an extra small, and 7 skeins of yarn for a small medium, which I think is what I used, which I think is why the thing came out so small, right, and fits me snug. I think I may have used 7 or 8 skeins of yarn back then, and then when I did the math and I calculated it for it's 89 yards per skein, her math is totally off on what your total yardage is. Because she was saying for the medium to large, you need 1,188 yards. And that is not what 7 skeins of that yarn is. Those skeins come with 89 yards each, so 7 skeins of that is 623 yards. So there's like a big discrepancy of like 400 yards. So now, if I wanted to try to make that bigger or wanted to try to make another one, I'm not exactly sure how much yarn it would be. Like, I think because I ran short in that and I ran short when I did the sweater coat, and I think the sweater coat took like 7 or 8 skeins, maybe 9. But that one at least fits like a bit baggier on me. It's still sort of snug. But I had to use other yarn, like Woolies Thick and Quick or something, to like finish off the hood in the back. So my guess is that it needs maybe 1,100, or at least like get 1,000 yards of that. And then when I looked the price and Ice Yarns for the comparable one, yeah, they had a puffy popcorn, but that doesn't look like it might be thick enough when I like go to compare it to look. It looks like it might be a little thinner. And there was like a panda blue, but that one also looks thin. It was the panda dual brown, which actually looks really cool color wise. And they had like a zebra looking one, but they're only sorry, I don't have the panda duo up. The regular panda blue is thinner. They like those pandas. Those are comparable because those have 87 yards per ball. But again, it's thinner. I mean, it might be nicer thinner, right? Maybe it won't be as bulky and maybe not as heavy because these come out, you know, the ones I made came out pretty heavy. The Panda Duo brown shade and ice yarns looked like it would be comparable in thickness, possibly. And they classify that as a super bulky and would take an 8 to 10 millimeter hook, size 11, 15. It's 100% microfiber. Consider it roving and eyelash, but it sort of looks like that. They have the brown shades. It's cool. I don't really like their yellow and brown one. Their copper and brown is interesting. It might look different in person, and their like black and white one looks really cool. I think a sweater or a sweater coat done in these funky ones would be really fun. But they're only 54 yards per ball, and each ball is $2.25, and you have to buy them by 4, which is $8.99. So you would probably need a significant amount of yarn to try to get the right yardage, and not knowing the exact yardage kind of makes it challenging. So we're saying 54 yards. Yeah, you're running almost into like 20 skeins of this yarn if you wanted to make something like that. But again, I mean, it's pricier yarn, right? This is why I bought this, the 5-pack at Herrschners, which is at 54 yards also, I believe, each one. Sorry, 43 yards. It's a bit smaller. And these were $12.45. I get extra % discount because I have their club membership, which you get expedited shipping. So that adds like a percentage discount to it. So I'm glad I ordered 5 more, and I'm still wondering, crap, do I have enough yarn to make that? Because now that I realize that, you know, I was going off needing only maybe 7 or 8 or 9 skeins, right? And then doubling that and being like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm fine with like 15 or 16 balls of yarn of these, skeins of these. Now I'm like, I may not have enough. We'll see. And will I actually wear it if I make it and it's baggier and it's more comfy? I mean, these seem not as heavy as the Lion Brand ones, but they're also half the size in a skein too. So, okay. Anyways, moving on. But I thought I would, you know, mention those to you. Oh, and Lion Brand has a sale right now where their that actual Go For Fleece 2 colorways are in sale. They're caramel colorway and the navy, and they're both like really pretty. I mean, it's really beautiful yarn, and it's at $3.77 a skein for those if you want to get that or try to get the kit. My suggestion is, if you do get the kit from Make and Do Crew, I mean, even if you get the other one for the Sherpa coat, order a little more, order a skein or 2 more. I mean, worst case, if it's better to have a little left over than to run out, because it really sucked to run out. And if you have some left over, I don't know, make a bunny, make a teddy bear. It's really nice and soft, cuddly stuff. Like, make a scarf, make a cowl. I will say you can't see your stitches with that, so do something simple with it. You gotta feel your way when you're using that yarn. You just kind of guess where the holes are and hope for the best. So, anyways, what an adventure, right? So I had seen Bag of Day mention this yarn, the Date Nights yarn. So I thought it was a good deal. And then when I got it, and I got it here, it's very pretty. It's actually soft. It's not scratchy. I thought it would be a lot bigger, to be honest with you. So that's what it looks like. It's definitely very metallic. I thought it was going to be more like yarny, not so much like tight metallic-y cord. This is the Tree Agate colorway. This is by Lion Brand. It's 3.5 ounces or 100 grams, 273 yards or 250 meters, 82% acrylic, 18% polyester. It's classified as a medium weight 4. They recommend size 7 knitting needles, 4.5 millimeters, or a I think that's an I9 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Machine wash, tumble dry low. I don't know. They keep making these labels smaller and smaller. Like I'm having a really hard time reading that. So if you guys can read that, there you go. That's what it is. That's what it looks like. And I got that for sale at Herrschners for $5.97. The bag of 3. Not bad. So I figured, you know, let me just try that and see how it goes. And then I have some projects. I had gotten some of this colorway in the mystery bag. It's the Karen Simply Soft. It's sorry for the crinkling. It's the Iris colorway. So yeah, my friend Michi from Michi's Crochet Nook, you should check out her channel. She had mentioned she had gotten some Karen Simply Soft, and then it sort of enabled me into the yarn buy. So I decided, well, you know what? I'll get some more for my project. It's a pretty purple. I'll find stuff to do with it anyways. And the bag of 3, was going for, I think it was $8.95. So I got 2 bags of that. And plus, like I said, I get the discount on top of that, and I had a free shipping coupon. So I really love Afghan kits. I have a hard time walking away from them. So I bought a few in Mary Maxim's. I'm going to try not to buy any more. So I keep a spreadsheet with an inventory list of my yarn. It's not currently up to date. But I did decide to type in there and put all the different Afghan kits that I have in there, so that the next time I feel like I'm tempted to buy an Afghan kit, I should look at all the ones I have that I haven't made. So I've only made 2, you know, completely start to finish. One of them I'm crocheting with a friend of mine. She's down in Florida. She's almost done with hers. It looks so pretty. Mine came out beautiful. It's this beautiful burgundy blanket. And so I have a few kits coming in from Mary Maxim that I'll show you as soon as they come in. And I decided to get 2 different baby blanket kits from Herrschners, which both of the sites, like, they had sales and all that, and, you know, anyways. And I had a 20% off coupon for the Mary Maxim one, so. But I did good. I didn't get their surprise bag, which I really wanted to get. Their mystery bag, which now they've changed the name to, like, surprise bag or surprise stash bag. I don't know. They keep changing the names on what these things are called. So I thought this was adorable. Adorable. Like, oh my God. Like, who can say no to this, like, super beautiful fox? I gotta take it out of this because he's just so cute. He's just so cute. So anyways, it comes in these bags if you've never bought them before. And this one comes with 4 big skeins of worsted 8 yarn and 1 of worsted 3. And that's the Herrschners brand yarn. It's 100% acrylic, 489 yards for the big ones. And 183 yards for the small one. And that's a little mini small one. It's so cute. And this is colorway espresso. The green that comes in here is emerald. The white is actually worsted baby yarn, which I haven't had before. It's really soft. It's really nice. It's even softer. It's a little softer than the worsted 8. This one's color clouds. And this, it has the same spec. I already checked before. This one is regular one, not baby. It's color blaze. And I think this yellow one is baby. And it's the color dandelion. It's very pretty. And this is our fox. Figured it'd be easier to see him outside of that bag. And they provide the pattern. And it doesn't say how hard it's supposed to be. And they provide a little thing that you can embroider your name on it and put the label with the darning needle on there to customize your pattern. Okay. It's 3 pages of pattern and it's intermediate level, and it makes a 36-inch by 36-inch blanket. So yeah. And I think it was at a great price. It was $29.99 for the kit. I'm very excited. I don't know how well I'll do with the appliques, with trying to make that fox and trying to make those pretty flowers and sewing them on there, and not having the stitching show through to the other side. We'll see. But I mean, if I don't try, I'll never know, right? So oops. So hopefully that all goes well. Let me shift how these are, because it's just not. Anyways, I could do that later. Sorry. I didn't read you all the specs for this Sherpa yarn. I know I did it in another video, but not in this one. Whoops! I lost it. It lost its skin. Anyways, this is the yarn. It's a slippery thing. This is the video of the yarn. This is the label. So 3.5 ounces, 43 yards, 40 meters. Machine wash, probably lay flat to dry. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what that line means. And it's Soho Sherpa soft. There you go. Yeah, I hate it when they mention it and then like people like zoom by the name and then you're like, what was that yarn called again? And this is colorway is Timberwolf. Makes sense. Okay, anyways, this is going to be a project to get this back in here. So, another thing I should mention, this yarn expands. Okay, that's good enough. And it does some of this in there too, so apparently that's a thing. I think if you just trim it off, it doesn't seem like it's happening for a lot of the other stuff, but yeah. Just be mindful of that. I didn't have that happen. Yeah, there, it's kind of like falling apart there. I didn't have that happen with the Lion Brand one. So, just something to be mindful of, that it, I guess it's losing its innards. Because it's kind of like it has this, you see there's like a strand there, and then that holds all the fluffiness. So it seems like that strand there was falling apart. And then last but not least, I got this kit. So this is actually 2 blankets in one. How cool is that? It's the Playtime Rainbow Blankets kit from Herrschners Worsted 8 collection. I got this one for $26.99. And it has the pattern for making both of those blankets. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of different colors and 2 of the white. You see that? There are the 2 whites, and there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 on the top for the green. These are a lot more of the baby colors. This green is really pretty. It's called Raindrops. And it's the same specs as the other stuff. Ballerina is the pink. Very appropriate color name. The blue is Blue Sky. Also makes a lot of sense. This orange is very pretty. Let's see, have ice cream. Sherbet ice cream. Anyways, it's called Kitten. That doesn't make any sense. But, not the best name. Not something I would have picked. And the yellow is Dandelion. Okay, yeah, it's the same yellow as the other kit. And the white is Clouds. Which Yes, it's the same as the other white too, so that'll be good. You know, I can use the colors interchangeably. And this is what the kit looks like, what the blankets look like for the kit. So one is like a chevron blanket, looks like with bobbles, and the other are mitered squares joined together. And the squares blanket is 31 by 36 inches, and the stripes blanket is 34 by 44 inches, so it's a little bigger. And I'm sure, you know, just add more yarn and can make it bigger. And they classify both of them as intermediate level. So yeah, I'm excited to definitely want to do the mitered square one. I was trying to teach my aunt how to make the mitered squares, and she couldn't get that down. So I think her son just had a baby. Well, sorry, her son did not have the baby. Son's girlfriend, fiance, just had a baby girl. So I want to go meet her, and I may be making the fox for her and maybe the mitered one. So it'd be really cool to, now that my aunt's the grandma, for the baby to have a blanket of squares that she was trying to learn and couldn't figure out, but I'll probably teach her how to make. So yeah, so that's everything I wanted to share with you guys. So sorry this video is a little longer than my usual ones. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.